Thank you for taking your time to look at this little video. I'm Mikkel Hornsby and I'm at Luma_25,000 on eToro. And this name comes from my first investment of $25,000 and the idea to make it luminous, a bright, positive investment journey. And it actually has been so. I started investing on eToro back in 2022. It was a tough year for many investors, and markets were failing, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. And fortunately, I would almost be honest and say I was lucky, but I didn't lose any money, mostly because of instinct, because back in 22 I didn't do so much deep research at the time. I just had a good sense of what felt right and what felt wrong, and coupled with common sense that made the year okay for me. So in 23 I really began to study investment seriously and looked very much into patterns of the market and looked very much into what had my interest. And I developed my strategy very much based on Warren Buffett's concept that you should never invest in something you don't personally understand. Of course, you don't understand everything and you need to do research, but at least you could say you should invest in something that has your interest, because that will carry you into the deep research. And so that made a lot of sense to me. So in 24 that strategy started to pay off and was growing stronger, and now in 25 it looks like I'll beat the earnings I did back in 24. That's how it looks right now. Okay, so my portfolio focuses on innovation. Now, it's things like quantum computing, it is artificial intelligence, and it's a lot of medical technologies and startup medical companies were having very profound and interesting developments, and also space communication, and those are areas where you could say, well, we don't know for sure whether or not it will develop to this or that, so these sectors move very fast and can be volatile, but that's exactly where progress in terms of investment happens. Now, nobody knows the future, but if you do research and you basically then just have to wait, because the market will believe this, believe that, and sometimes the markets will get very nervous and there will be all these mood swings. But discipline isn't about guessing what happens tomorrow. It's about you have to understand whether a company can survive and grow within the next 5 years. I mean, do they have the financial runway to get where you hope they will get? And is the product so unique that it will create a place for itself in the market where there's not much competition? And is it, if there's competition, a lot better? Now, leadership is also extremely important, and I believe very much in leaders where they're not necessarily only there to make a good salary, but they are there because they believe in the company and preferably has been there a while. So for me it's like, how is the company funded, and what's their product, and the leadership. How have they done before? What are the leadership's education? I mean, is it something which is purely like they are good at numbers, but they don't know anything about what they're doing? So I actually do these 4 tests on a company, and I think it's very important because that's key to my strategy. The product has to be truly different than what's there already, not just slightly better. The leadership, preferably founders, should be engaged and driven by vision, not salary. The runway should be strong enough to grow, not just to merely survive. And then the timing. I like to enter into a company before the world notices, but not during the height of hype, So that's actually when I start to exit a little bit of a company, when it goes into a hype thing. Of course, not every investment wins. You have to be ready to sell a loser. So that will happen. And either it's management is not doing their job, and all of a sudden this company is not about the good product anymore. It's just about surviving, and it's diluting into absolutely no real value anymore. So there is that. And of course, it's important to understand that these stocks I invest in do carry some risk to them, and it's not just like investing in some major ETF or this is there is risk involved in this, because the market has a tendency to go in a cycle where they believe, this is interesting and doable, and this will happen, and then they get all scared, and then they try to escape into gold or something they feel is a certainty, and then the stock will dip, and you will not usually see me selling when such a thing happens, because I've done my research, and I think the money is well placed and so on. So you will, if I have spare money, you'll probably see me doubling down and buying the dip of the stocks I already own, and that is an important part of my portfolio to do a little bit of swing trading, but it's not the main part. The main part is that I have these around, it's usually 25 companies, because I don't think you can be on top of more than that. So I focus on 25 companies. I actually limit myself to 25 companies, which I think these are good ones. They have a future. And I stay on top of news and research and development and so on. So I also have some crypto in the portfolio. This is crypto where it has utility. There is no meme cryptos. This is crypto I believe has a place in the future. And there is something very smart about those cryptos I have decided upon. But I actually do not allocate more than max 10% of the portfolio to crypto as a general rule. So you will not see me as a crypto investor. I've done my research, and I have decided that these 8 cryptos which I have is the one I'm going with, and I'm not for the foreseeable future gonna change this investment. I'm sort of locked in. Now, this talking about investment, I could probably go on for quite a while. So, but the important thing is that if you look at my portfolio, you look at my statistics, and you think, we're going to give this a shot. We're going to copy this guy. You should probably stick with me for a while. I see sometimes during the day that somebody has copied me and then stopped copying me and then even started copying me again and stopped copying me, and I go, no. The only thing if you do that is you actually give eToro a percentage of your money every time you enter and exit, and that's not very smart. So if you are going to copy me, you should do that for a while, because of the ups and downs of the volatility of the investing in the future. It will take a little bit of time before you can actually see, oh, now it's making sense. Yeah, so you might be very lucky at the moment you start copying me that the stocks are going up, and you might think, oh, this is a bad time because they're going down, and so be it. But you should you should zoom out and then just look at, oh, how is it going, sort of like over a period of time. And I think half a year or a year or something like that is something which makes sense. So that's just, I mean, nothing I have said here is to be taken as investment advice, but this is how I look at the market and how I evaluate opportunities and stocks and so on. So whenever I do a post, you are very welcome to ask me questions and so on. I will answer, and I actually like engaging with people, and now and again I actually also acted on recommendations from people commenting my posts and so on. So that's a nice community feeling when that happens. So you're very welcome to do that. Ask questions and be engaged. But you can also just lean back and let me do the investment and not worry too much. Personally, if I was on eToro and I wasn't somebody doing the investing and I was just looking for a place to invest, I would probably choose 10 investors which I really felt safe about, looking at the statistics over the last 3 or 4 years, and look at their percentage of increasing their portfolio, and then I would say, okay, I'll go to these 10, and then I'll just basically lean back and do absolutely nothing for the years to come, because that would be a very, very sound investment strategy. Just let the people doing the investing doing the work for you. It's much better than if you're not sure about what you're doing and then just taking your money in and out and so on. Investment has a lot to do with timing and patience. One of the key things which I found that people have the most difficulty with is basically to doing nothing. I mean, you placed your money on somebody and you think you're supposed to do something. If you place the money with me, then ideally you're not supposed to do anything. You're just supposed to lean back and let time do its business, right? And to feel assured that you are on the right path, you should look at the statistics of the years I've been on eToro, and that should give you an idea about whether or not this is a good idea or not, right? But as I said, personally, if I was to do investment and I wasn't about to use any time on it, I would just find 10 people, investors here in eToro, and I would allocate a sum of money to each, and then I will just go and lean back and take it easy. I think that would be a very sound strategy. In any event, I wish you happy investment.